In this episode, it's just me and Joep. We're catching up on the last few weeks. We talk about the world players. We do overrated, underrated. We're back in the coop, and I've got a big idea. It's all coming next. Okay, it's episode 4 of Let's Stick Together, brought to you by Y1 Hockey. I always forget to say that now, but we are brought to you by Y1, our friends at Y1. Go and check them out, y1hockey.com. They also get into padel now. If anyone needs a new padel bat, go check them out. Sorry for the lack of consistency. We are without Brendan today. He's still living the life out in the US, struggling to minus 5.5 or whatever it is for his time zones. So it's just me and Joep. How are you, Joep?
I'm good. I've been ill over the weekend. I did play. Like I was very proud of myself that I actually because I was throwing up all morning on Saturday. Still decided to play. Throwing up all Saturday night. Went to bed straight after the game. I was in bed at like 6 or 5:30, which is like a record for me. But we survived. It was an insane game, like against HDM. Got up 5-1. They came back to 5-4, and eventually we won 6-4 when it should have never been this close. But yeah, that's Oranje-Rood in a nutshell this year. Yeah, doing fine. How are you, Philip?
You had an MJ flu game, a classic. What would have been good is if you'd have been, like they could have done all the camera following you around, you sweat in, and then you score the winner to win 6-5. That would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
It was a game of ups and downs. My guy scored like I was marking a guy, or I wasn't marking a guy who scored the 3-1. I got like I made a really like the third division tackle, missed the tackle. They scored the 5-2 or something. I don't know. I also gave made like an action for my own 23. Passed two guys and gave a backhand over 50 yards and someone's forehand into the circle. Like it was ups and downs. It was definitely a flu game, but I don't know if it's close to like what MJ did.
That sounds like a 2017 Joep de Mol game, or a 2017 Brendan Krieg game.
On the ball it was a bit better than 2017 Brendan Krieg. Off the ball it was definitely 2017 Joep de Mol. Yeah. Like not focused, not sharp. Like I was worrying more about whether I could survive the game. For the first time, I think in 7 years, I asked for a substitute at a certain point because I was that fucked. I had to shit at halftime, and I was pissing out of my ass. I threw up straight after the game. Like it was terrible, but I survived.
Oh, flu games are great fun, aren't they? Getting ill, doing it. Yeah, you just can't write it. I remember when we were at the World Cup in 2023 and we went over to Roskilde, and we've documented well how nice a place Roskilde was, but like 6 of us got ill instantly, but not in the way that you would think in India. We all had problems with our chests, lungs, whatever it was. I woke up on the first game to play Wales, I think it was, and like felt absolutely disgusting. Like was like dizzy, couldn't stand up. Kept telling our doctor, who seemed mainly okay with everything. She's like, "Yeah, you're all a bit ill, but no one's got a temperature." And I was like, "Can you just check my temperature?" And I ended up getting angry with her. And then she like did it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that is quite a high temperature, right? Okay." And I was like, then end up just drugging up. You try and hope that the adrenaline hits you at the right point, and then I just came off with like 5 minutes to go at the end of the game, and I just randomly cried, and I was like, that was, looking back, that was like messed up. When you like, I was like shaking, and you were just like, what the why are we doing this to ourselves? And I remember our coach came up to me before the game, and I thought he was going to be like, take a break, Ropes. You don't need to play. You're all right. And he was just like, drug up. We need you. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah, it's always you really want to before the game because you're like, no, I'm not gonna skip a game. It's not in me, whatever. And after the game, you're like, maybe should have skipped this one. That was like my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I did not have fun during the game. I did not.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Also,
worried.
had EM, like you probably got that covered, haven't you? You'd hope.
No, 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 Philip, no. The one thing I'm sure of this season is we don't have anything covered. Like, not on the good, but not on the bad. So we can win every game. I'm convinced we could win against any team at any moment, but we could also lose against any team at any moment. It's a good place to be in. And
Um,
is your league any fun anymore? Because I feel like there's not a lot of competition for you guys, is there?
well, on paper, no.
No, because
We've
your team bought half the league, right? No one's
well, we
left.
could say that. No, we're 10 games in. We've won 10. Um, I think we've scored over 50 goals now. Uh, yeah, we're going strong. We've funnily enough, I'm actually having so much fun. It's really good to be part of. Um, the weekend was interesting. We played Surbiton, who are second, and I would say definitely the other best team in the league. And we had a classic niggly game, a bit all over the place, and then we just have players like Alan Forsyth, Sam Ward, Tom Carson, who are just natural born goal scorers and they can do stuff for you. And fortunately, they did stuff for us. I was basically um, running around the whole game, not touching the ball, and then I managed to have a good 2 minutes at the end and score a goal. So, happy days for me. But yeah, we've got Wimbledon last game of the year um, before indoor and winter break. So hopefully we can go 11 from 11. But from everyone else, I'm sure they hate us, and I'm sure they do because, yeah, it can't be that fun. But we're having a good time.
Yeah, well, if you guys are having a good time, it's all fine. But I can vouch for everyone else that you kind of hated upon. I think.
On
Like
that
I,
note,
I know I know a lot of you guys, and I like a lot of you guys individually, but as like a team and a club, you guys seem pretty dickish.
there's so many people who are going to love you just that little bit more for saying that.
Yeah. Well, it's true. So
Yeah, well, fair enough. We also, had our fair share of no, actually cut that there. I'm just going to keep going. Um, yeah, moving on. Some more news for you is that Mark Hagar has been appointed as the new Australian men's head coach. He's the former New Zealand women and GB women's coach and Australian actually former brilliant player. What do you think of that, Joep? Did you hear that yet?
no, didn't hear about it. I also got to be honest that I don't know him. Um, but I think that says way more about me than about him. But he was the former coach of GB
Women, yeah.
and New
New,
Zealand men.
New Zealand women, I think.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's
He's
if you get the head coach job of Australia men, I think you're in a good spot. I kind of know they also approached Alison Ennen. Uh, like a little bird told me. So I think that would have been a good one, but I don't think she's ready to do that yet. Or that's
well,
my
she's
assumption. I don't know.
just loving China and loving the money.
Well, yeah, shitload of money. I think she still lives in Holland, and her kids still live in Holland. So I think that kind of makes it easier for her to like stay here and fly to China every once in a while. Um, but yeah, I
Uh,
think she would have been great for them. I think she's one of the best coaches out there right now, men's or women's. Um, but yeah, to be honest, I cannot really say a hell of a lot about him. To be honest, I also didn't know Colin Batch before he was the coach of Australia men. Like I also didn't know Revington before he was coach of GB men. So again, it says way more about me. But yeah, if I think Australia are due for a new coach, I think it was a good decision of the coach and from Australia to not continue because I feel like he's been there a while, and sometimes you kind of reach your yeah, how do you say it, your peak or your potential with the group. And I think the same as Revington said, at a certain point, there's only so much you can get out of a group. So I think it's a good step from Australia to like move on, and because it's a group with a lot of talent, a lot of potential. So
Yeah, well, watch this space. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if he keeps on a lot of the old heads in the Australia men's team, but we will see. Um,
Yeah, I know
moving
already
on,
Ogilvy quit, Charter quit, and who else? Someone else quit as well.
I'm not
Did
sure.
Oken did Oken or is he still going for another four
I
years?
think he wants the record, doesn't he? I don't know.
Fair enough.
Um, yeah, watch this space. We'll follow up with that, I'm sure, in the coming months. Um, just before we get onto the World Players, World Star Awards, which is always exciting to do, I thought I'd just quickly touch on the Hockey India League. We're seeing a lot of players being replaced already. Um, especially, well, obviously overseas players being replaced. Is that a sign that they've underpaid the overseas players like this time? Like from last time, looking through the figures, they paid a lot of money to a lot of players, a lot of overseas players, and this time it looks like guys aren't as willing to go out to India for 7 weeks. Is it? Yeah, has it been under incentivized?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the only real reason, right? Like, let's be honest. I think no one wants to be 7 weeks in Rukela for that amount of money. I feel like also it makes a difference whether it would have been like the traveling circus it used to be, where you would go all around India, play different stadiums, different venue every week, traveling around hotels, this and that, or that you're 7 weeks locked up in Rukela. I think that makes a big difference. Also, that it's over Christmas and New Year's also makes it's like quite heavy. I know some players actually managed to get their coach crazy enough that they could come after Christmas, so they're there 2 days before the tournament starts. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, yeah, like let's be honest, Jorrit Kroon, Jonas de Geus, I can name the seven. Those are the Dutch guys I know. Besides the fact that they're both like, I was surprised they even subscribed, that they even put their name down, because they're both not really fit at the moment. So how can you like that being said, I also think if they would have gotten 50,000 euros, they would have probably battled through injury, if I'm honest.
I do wonder if it's going to change because, like you say, now it goes from having, loads of the best players in the world to now like, coaches are scrambling around desperately um, to find the right person and see who's actually willing to go out for the lax for Christmas and New Year, which kind of is not the point of the Hockey India League. They want to see the best overseas players with the best Indian players. So I'm kind of intrigued to see whether that might change in the next year and actually how it looks when it starts.
Well, I'm actually what I'm most curious about is I think a lot of teams give away 2 year contracts. That it's not just a 1 year deal. Most teams from a 2 year contract, but next year is a World Cup year. So next year, I think like a lot of players, like I know for a fact, Holland players are not allowed to even go. So
Mm,
all the Dutch players that have been auctioned right now will probably not be auctioned next year. I think knowing GB will probably also not be able to go there. Germany probably won't. Belgium probably won't. Like what's left. So I feel like that's an
yeah.
even bigger issue. Like now it's more a money thing. Next year is more an availability thing even.
And last time, with that, because there was so much money, I remember it like in 2015, 2016. Because the guys were being so well paid, we had Adam Dixon, Mark Leghorn, Ian Lewis, Nick Catlin, Ashley Jackson, Barry Middleton, all were on really big, nice contracts. That because that money was so significant, they almost had to make way for it. Now, the federation and the players are not going to push back. If you're just saying, oh, it's just 10 lakh to go out for a year before the World Cup, it just doesn't make any sense. So I think Indians are going to have to look at that. They have obviously well paid their own, which is completely fine, but you had to incentivize it enough for world class players to want to go and impact the league and make the league great. So it's slightly, guess, disappointing to see that.
Yeah, true.
Um, yeah, I don't want to do it, but we have to do it because it's like the fourth year in a row we're doing it. But the world players got announced. Firstly, the positive news is that Yibby, who was on last episode, won. So like amazing news, and I think that's thoroughly deserved. She just got Gu Bing Feng. She Yibby won 27.3% of the votes, and Gubing Feng won 26.8. So there's only 0.5% between winning and losing that one, which again is a bit mental, but still, like, fair play. We're very happy at Let's Stick Together that Yibby won that award. Joep de Mol. Sorry, Joep, do you want to cut in?
No, no, go on.
Our very own Joep de Mol came second in the World Men's Player of the Year. So again, incredibly proud of our boy. He came second, not as
That's
close. Harmanpreet won 63.8% of the votes. Oops was second with 16%. So
yeah.
yeah, maybe next year, mate. Maybe next year.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, it's
You know,
again like
okay, I'm gonna pitch in right here. I'm gonna pitch in right here. You know what? I feel like this was the year though that Harmanpreet did deserve it, to be honest. Like I think the ridiculous thing is that it's the sixth time in a row an Indian player wins without winning any like real silverware in the last 6 years. They never won anything in the last 6 years besides Asia Games. Um, but they haven't won anything and they still get up. I feel like Harmanpreet was one of the most influential players for their team. I feel like Harmanpreet was of a bigger impact for India than I was for Holland or Cherry was for Holland in the last year, than Wallace was for GB or than Müller was for Germany. So I completely understand that he won it. It's more the fact that again an Indian player won than that he won it this year. Like that's the only thing I want to like. I was never in the for me getting second was the highest possible thing for me to get out of this, to be honest. So I was really happy, and I was even a bit surprised again, like, oh fucking hell, I ain't got second, which was really cool. But yeah, I do want to give Harmanpreet his flowers that he had a really good year, and he is a really good hockey player. It's just the fact that again it's India, which makes it like really annoying.
yeah, and I agree. I think Harmanpreet has been unbelievable. Like not just the flicking, but like his outlaying, his skills. He plays like an over 35s player,
Yeah.
and it's somehow no one can tackle him ever. So like he is an unbelievable player. I just fundamentally disagree with how they do the voting, how it's worked. I mean, I've read it before, but I still don't understand. There's 20% fans, 20% media, National Association vote 20%. Now I don't understand what that is because Harmanpreet got 15 points on that, and no one else got over 2 points. So I don't understand that. And then the expert panel count for 40%, but we've already clarified the expert panels aren't experts, and some of them don't turn up to the
Well,
meeting.
I've come to believe that they are experts because it's the only category that I really got a lot of points in. So don't bash on the experts. Experts actually were very they know a lot about hockey.
Okay, sorry. Just they do know, but just for the men's category. For everything else, they're idiots. So yeah, it would be lovely if they maybe mixed that up, got some experts who were experts. They changed this national association because that seems like that is ridiculous. Yeah, we can bitch about it as much as we want. We're very happy for Yibby. I'm really happy for you, but yeah, we need. I keep pondering this fact that if I had the time and energy, I would make a completely neutral world player vote, like
Yeah,
awards.
because you know what the main issue is, and it's not like let's. I never thought I would even be nominated for something like this, so I always thought I could speak like completely unbiased about it, because again, never thought I would be nominated for such a thing. So now I will sound maybe a bit unbiased or like colored about it, but that fuck that. The thing that really annoys me is that this prize actually is like the coolest thing there is as an individual, like a hockey player to win, and that it's lost all its like shine and all its glory. Like the Ballon d'Or with football is like such a big event, such a big thing. If you win a Ballon d'Or, you're like an all-time legend and whatever. And I feel like now it's kind of lost its shine, and no one is taking it serious anymore. but there's nothing else we can take serious for it. So like in the time of the Neuer, the time of like Dwyer, who got it like five, 6 times in a row, same as like Lionel Messi got it 8 times. It's like such a big thing. And now because like no Indian player or no can help it. Like it's not Harmanpreet who can help it. Like, and again, he had a really good year this year, so deservedly so. But even now for him, it's lost all his credibility, and there's still like heaps of people who will say he didn't deserve it because they don't watch hockey and they say, ah, it's 6 times in Indian. I got like, we made the joke, or Thierry Brinkman made the joke. We got like a congratulations in our group chat from the national team, and Thierry Brinkman made the joke. Yeah, thank you guys. Joep, Pim, and me are sending flowers to India already to congratulate Srijesh and Harmanpreet. And it ended up with that they both won. So that says like, and I think that's the whole thing. No one in the hockey world takes the prize as serious as they should anymore. And again, I think they both, of course, also Srijesh had like a really good year. It's his last, it's more of like a farewell prize to him. Like, to be honest, Pirmin last year didn't have his best year and won it. This year, Pirmin had the best year of his career and didn't win it. So that's like, you could kind of stripe it away to each other. But like the thing is, it should get like it should be such an honor and such like an incredible thing. And again, if I would have won it this year, I would see it as this incredible honor and the biggest achievement as an individual in a team sport there is. But it's lost its credibility. And that's such a shame because it's such a cool prize. Like, you hope a Zach Wallace, Arthur van Doorn as well, but like Arthur de Slover, name 6 other guys who are like in the running for it. Thierry Brinkman, guys like that will end their career winning World Player of the Year once. And now it looks like it will never happen. And that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think that someone out there, I wish it was me, I wish it was us, I wish it was someone out there needs to start this other award where we can make it completely unbiased and we can make it something that people can know is completely neutral. And it's not just someone, yeah. You've said it all. We need something credible to create something. Just to very quickly run through the others, young players, Sufyan Khan from Pakistan and Zoe Diaz from Argentina won the young players. Again, a bit disappointing that a male player won that didn't compete on the biggest stage, didn't play in the Olympics, didn't play in the Pro League. Goalkeepers, you've already touched on this. Srijesh won, and Yi Yao from China won. Coaches Alison Annan and Jeroen Delmay, I think they got that bang on. Them two coaches had a hell of a year. And then umpires Sarah Wilson and Steve Rogers. And I actually also agree with that. I think that Sarah Wilson and Steve Rogers are both top umpires. So congratulations to everyone. Again, slightly disappointing to look at the breakdown of the voting, and hopefully something may be done about it in the coming years to make the award credible again. We are going to take a break. We will be back in a second. Happy? Can you send the thing through, UP?
Yeah, I think so. I could do that.
We're going to bring back overrated, underrated.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I've come up with some names and I went to like the in my opinion top 8 countries and took one player from it. So first one, overrated, underrated, is Victor Vanier, Belgium.
What? So are you saying the person, and I've got to say whether overrated or underrated?
Yeah, and I'll agree or disagree because I have it's not something for me to have a strong opinion about something, but I'll come off the fence for once.
Overrated.
Yeah, so for me the thing with him is that he's been underrated for so long that he's actually starting to become overrated, if that makes sense. Like, he's been such a silent power for Belgium, like controlling the midfield, defending really well, covering a lot of ground, and he still does. But I feel like people are looking at him now as one of the best midfielders in the world. He got sold for like 40K at the Hockey India League. Like I still think he's in my like top 10 midfielders in the world right now. But I feel like people are judging him as like a top 3, and I don't think he's that. So I kind of agree with you. I think he's a little bit overrated.
I also
Again,
not not sure I agree with the whole like he's gone under the radar. I think he's been like he like burst into the scene in like 2018 or whenever it was. And then
Well, not under the radar, but like he was
yeah,
like
I think
no
he's
one would.
one of them people that people like push. It's like, oh, Victor Venier is he's that guy. And I completely agree that he's still one of, yeah, top 10, top 15 midfielders in the world. But like he isn't gonna dribble past seven guys. He's gonna do a really fucking good job in, deep centre mid at just like spreading the ball around about.
Yeah, I do think he was like that's between 2018 and 2021 where Belgium won everything there is. He was like a vital, like a crucial part in that team. Control, as you said, controlling. I think in Tokyo, for instance, I feel like Arthur de Slover, Kina, and Meunier were the three best players of that team at that tournament. As in, like they performed the best. So I feel like at that point, Vignay was for me like one of the best midfielders there was. But I feel like he's like not declined, but like he wasn't as influential as he was. So I feel like that's why he's gone a bit overrated. But again, guys won everything there is to win. Is still, I think I would love to have a Vignay in my team. So makes it tough. But I feel like yeah, I would like slightly go overrated, but like not a lot.
Do you know what's really interesting as well? I don't know if we've made this point on the podcast, but like what's really hard, I think, about being what is really hard about being trying to be world class every year on an international level is
Yes,
that
expectations.
the first of all expectations. Second of all, it's like people get used to playing you. You have to constantly evolve to try and constantly be effective and go with the game. So like just because you can burst onto the scene and you can see people do it all the time. I even think it's happened a little bit with our good friend Tungle Camp. I can't say his name still. Uh,
Telkamp.
yeah, Duco. Like the way he burst onto the scene last year and the way that he runs with, with so much speed down the left. You even saw it a little bit in Paris and the way that people defended him. He had to adapt and had to change the way he played. Now, I'm not saying he played badly, but I think he was less effective than when he burst on the scene and people didn't know who he was, so he just did his thing.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know the exact word in English, but like the thing that comes to mind is satisfaction, or it's like people are like are spoiled. People are a bit spoiled by someone like some. But like for me, the best example is Arthur van Doren. Like people are expecting him to be like every year to be like by far the best free man there is in the world, and I think to be honest, he still is. But because people have their standards so high on him that they kind of forget how good he is. Like, and it's most of the times, and I think Wenier is kind of similar. And we're talking a lot of time now about Wenier, but like, still, I think it's like funny to like think about it. Is because he had such a couple of really good years that still the things he does for Belgium are things we don't really see in the field. Like Ames is also a good example for it. You guys, you know how good he is when you take him away, and I feel like Meunier is a bit a similar player. When you take him away, you kind of know, oh, he cleans up a lot of shit in the midfield. And same with Arthur van Doren. Oh, it's pretty nice to have someone who could like skip two lines at once with one pass and put a striker right in front of the goal, or like take away so much garbage in the back. So I feel like he's in that category for me. But I feel like, as you said, I think as a defensive midfielder, he's still one of the best there is. But like I think he's gone to slightly overrated while still being top notch. Okay, second one. Kelnan played against him this weekend. Will is his first name. Will
Yeah,
Kelnan.
yeah.
Yeah, absolute top tier shithousery. But and we talked a lot about him in like the shithousery front. I had a little. It was far from an altercation. It was just. Uh, I think he like pushed the ball and it was in my on my upper leg and it came on my upper leg and I yelled to the ref, it was high. And then I kind of acted like it hurt a lot. And then he was like, oh, if it hurts so much, then sit on the ground and stop running, you knob, or something like that. So I thought it was really funny. And we actually had a couple of laughs about it. And after the game, I don't know, hinked towards him like, oh, it hurts so bad, but it was just like a push on my upper leg. But I had like a blue mark for it to show the ref it was my upper leg. But as a hockey player, where would you like? Is he overrated, underrated?
He's a
Is
really
he
tricky.
is he even rated?
That's what I was going to say. I think like in terms of like world hockey, I wouldn't say that people are discussing Cal that much, maybe.
No, but he's been on every tournament there is. Like I
Yeah.
feel like he never misses a tournament. He was at the Olympics, he was at World Cup, he was at the European Cup. He's like a standard, or like a guy who's always selected, but he's never really been discussed. Like, is he overrated, underrated? Like, I feel like he's really quick. But if you ask me to describe him as a player, while I've played against him a lot, I couldn't really tell you. Like,
Yeah.
he's like really quick. I know he's really quick, but he's not the most skillful guy. He scored a really good goal against us this weekend. But like, what's his USP? I have no clue.
I think he's a moments guy. I think
Yeah.
that's he has these crazy amazing moments where he's lightning quick. He's an unpredictable player, so you never know what's coming. Like you say, he's not that skillful. He can pull out some outrageous skills. He has both really nice hits, both backhand and forehand. Um, but it's a very good question because I'd like to ask him the same thing. Like, who are you as a player? He's somewhere in between. He's a number 10 in football. He's not the out and out striker. He's the guy who's trying to feed the strikers. He's trying to create stuff, and
You
yeah,
know who he reminds me of a little bit? Not in but like playing style, a bit like Christopher Roer.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
similar. I don't think like I'm sorry, Will, you're not as good, but like similar like way he plays. And I
yeah,
feel like it's tough. So I'm gonna go underrated because he's not talked about. So I think like he's better than that because he makes every selection with you guys. So he must be doing well. Like yeah, he's also like not really. There's also a reason he's not really been spoken about, to be honest.
and he has an X factor. Cal has an X factor. There's so many elements to Cal. First of all, he's a showman, an amazing teammate, a, a a guy who, like we've already talked about on this pod, can get under anyone's skin possible, and then has
And
these magic moments where he can, you know, change a game.
yeah,
So
and to
probably
be honest,
agree.
I think 90%, 95% of the players who played against him hate him because he gets on your skin. I think I'm in the lucky few that actually love him. I'm a big fan of him because he's like so my type of guy, like being such a knob on the field and actually being such like so big on shit out. Like, so yeah, he's a good guy, but I don't know if he's that good of a hockey player. Okay. Another interesting one, Tom Rambush.
I'm starting to think he's underrated.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Philip.
We gave him so much shit, and a lot of people I think give him a lot of shit, and then he suddenly developed into this really really tough defender, like unbelievable outlier, like calm player and a decent flicker, and you're like, yeah, I think we underrated him on our FIFA cards as well.
I think we he's like I wouldn't say criminally underrated, but he was, I think, the best center back for Germany in the World Cup. He was calm. I think he's a complete idiot sometimes in the field, and I think he would even everyone would agree with me that he can be even himself, that he can like sometimes lose his head and be very emotional, too emotional, and do really stupid shit, uh, funny shit, but stupid shit. But he was so solid at the Olympics. Defensively, he has I think at this moment the best high ball in international hockey, as in it's always on point, it's always in space, it's always right on the money, and he's just solid. He never really gives away the ball. He's not a runner. He will not like change the game, but like really solid. So I think he's really underrated at the moment because of his like stupid antics.
Agree. That's a good one. Easy one. Move it
Yeah,
on.
easy one, but easy one, but a very forgettable one. So okay, next one is Casella from Argentina, striker. You
Under
you you always his fabulous hair.
Underrated. First of all, for that,
Underrated?
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Why?
Well, I think mainly because is he has he I don't know if he maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm living under a rock, but I don't hear about him that much. He's been a bit of a journeyman, like where he's gone around the clubs. But like every time I've played him, he's always it seems like he has a bit of an all-round game. So he can do a bit of everything. He can drop into midfield. He can pick up the ball, beat players, he can pass it, he can score, he can drag flick. There's so many elements to him, and I always think he's been pretty consistently good. But I'm not saying that he's like the best striker in the world, but I think he's pretty top tier.
Yeah, I was like very lopsided or very I don't know, very in debate with myself about him. As I wrote them down, I was like, yeah, he is. I think he's like Argentina's poster boy, if that makes sense. He's like, if you talk about Argentina, you talk about Michael Cassell. I don't know if he's like in the same as the likes of like Lucas Villa or Mazzilli in his prime. Like he's like not on that level yet for me. He has a pretty good corner. Like I would love to have a guy like that at Oranje Rood, to be honest, because I feel like he has a great touch. Like I also haven't really seen him change the game for Argentina that much. And
Yeah.
like Argentina hasn't really gotten into a semi-final ever since they won Olympic gold in Rio. They like kind of always got out to the quarterfinals, never really gotten through, and I think that's his like um, team or his like generation. So that's why I would go a bit overrated, but like not as a player, but like maybe it's also you cannot change the game by yourself. But like, yeah, I don't know. I
He's
feel like
not they've also changed Argentina, haven't they? Because they had the years of Lucas Villa and Mazzilli where they just got complete license to lose the ball,
yeah,
to dribble every time they got it, and they could do
yeah, and
incredible
get a
things. But
corner and
they,
make Payet score it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they could also lose the ball 20 times their game, and no one would care
yeah,
because that was
fair.
their game plan. Like
Yeah,
now they're a bit different, but yeah, yeah, I still
yeah,
think
fair, fair. I think yeah, he's probably he's just properly rated, but I feel like you need to like get it out, and then he's like
maybe
closer
we need
to
to have a different rating because
yeah,
it's underrated, overrated, properly rated, and like I would probably put him in properly rated, where
yeah, fair,
he's about right.
fair. Then another one, a guy who's not been talked about a lot, had a really good Olympics, Bastera, number 10 of Spain, corner guy.
Yeah, is he the really fast guy? You're gonna have to
No,
tell.
he's like number 10, the circle striker, but that you don't know him makes me kind of feel like he's underrated. Because I feel like he's like a good striker for Spain. Scores quite a lot of goals. Has a lot of goals under his belt. Has a pretty solid corner. Um, Also not really talked about. Again, Spain has also like just come onto the scene really in the last couple years. Um, Always been like best of the rest a little bit, like out of
Yeah.
the top six, seven. I feel like he's like a bit underrated. People don't talk about him, and I feel like he's a good circle striker. It's like has a good shot, has a corner. It's like a bit of a type of a Sam Lane, Benderek type of player.
Yeah,
So I would put
I'm not even, to be honest with you, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember him doing anything good, um, or like really hearing about him that much. So I'm going to struggle to give you anything. There is one
okay.
Spanish
Well then,
guy, which I'm going to come back to you next week with his name, because at the Olympics, he was rapid and really skillful, and he shat on about five of us in the game we played against them.
I think I know what you mean.
And
Is the but he's really small, right?
no. It's not
Yeah, number 99. I don't know.
Villalonga.
Yeah, Villalonga, amazing
It's
player.
not him. He's
What
an
a player
interesting
that is.
he's an interesting character. Now
Yeah,
he just dribble every time. There's this big guy who's fast, and he suddenly just came out of nowhere. And our defensive coach after the game was like, "Why are we defending so badly?" And then every clip was him roasting another one of us. And we got to
yeah,
the end of the meeting, and we were like, "Maybe it's just that guy. Maybe he had the game of his life. Like, give us a break. Like, what we're meant to do." Like he pulled out
yeah.
some outrageous skill, and our coach is like, "Sort it out." You're like, "Yeah." We are playing against some pretty good players here. Sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah, fair,
Um,
fair. It's always when you play India that you get like these. Yeah, you should keep him in front of you, and I'm like, yeah, I know I should, but this guy had the most amazing right foot dribble, and I'm not that quick on my feet to like. I know he's going to drag it inside, but yeah, like Arjen Robben, you know he's dragging it inside, you just don't know when, and it's always going past you.
yeah, that is the
Um,
problem. There is at least, I mean, now I'm terrified every time if you're near, is it Lalit?
yeah,
Uh,
Lalit is
I don't, I got sent by him. I was still I was on my way out of the stadium last time I played him, so I was like, maybe I should leave and leave him alone. Anytime I'm
Nice.
marking him, it's like switch, switch.
If an Indian player has his game, you need to run, go home.
Yeah,
But there's an Indian player coming up. First, Floris Middendorp. Overrated, underrated.
he's my type of player, so I'm probably going to say underrated. He's he's you just chose a load of underrated guys because like he's not he's come on the scene and he was like probably one of the guys, last guys to get picked for the Olympics. He was like number 16, number 15 for Holland. And then he's really good. He's got lovely hands. He knows how to play hockey. And yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
got too much bad to say about him. He's not like the best midfielder in the world, but he is seriously a good hockey player.
I feel like, and he has potential to be one of the best midfielders in the world, to be honest. He, and I'm completely biased because I train with him a lot. He has, I think, the best hands in the, that I've, yeah, Jorrit Kroon is also up there, but which I have played with. Like he has the ball on like his right foot dribble, like left to right, is the best I've seen.
Yeah,
And you know it's coming, but it's really tough to defend because you like as I said, it's with Arjen Robben. You know he's dragging it to his left foot, but he always got past people, and that's the same with him a little bit. You know the right foot dribble is coming, but he kind of always gets past people. I think he needs to for him to be like because I feel like he's kind of properly rated as you said. I think he was a fringe guy for the Olympics, but on the other hand, he did like well at the Olympics, and the spot he was up for was like very heavily positioned, as in there were a lot of players for his like position, so that's why he was like a fringe guy to be like I don't know how Jeroen Delmee thought, but like up front you thought he was like competing with other guys for that position. But the thing he needs to develop, I think, is a bit the same as Wallace had a couple years ago. That to really be like make a step is needs his rendement. I don't know the word in English. Like his what he
consistency.
gets out of action. Yeah, but also what he gets out of actions. So like assists, goals, corners. If that goes up a little bit, so that he scores more goals, that he gets more corners, gets more involved in goal scoring and shit, I think he will like take a leap. He will get more onto the scene. I
And
feel like
it's
he's doing really
also
well, especially.
it's so new that it comes back to my original point about like when
Yeah,
people are
consistent.
going to be playing him the third, fourth, fifth time, can he consistently adapt and play and still impact games? Because that is something that I just think is so hard to do, and why like it's almost like what do you call it, like the second year in the football Premier League, like people get
Yeah,
used to
fair.
like it's a tricky
Yeah,
second season.
and also he isn't yet playing on his favorite position. I think his favorite position is central midfield, and he's now playing more as like on the sides, as like a high, like a winger almost. And I think his like priority or his best position is like it's as a central midfield, like not a controlling midfielder, but like a box to box midfielder. So I think it's tough to give him like a over or underrated yet because I don't think he's like as you said it's like a good thing. Philip is that there are some guys that are not really been rated yet, but I feel like he's like one of the up and coming guys. Okay, next one is Hardik.
He's properly rated.
I think, in my opinion, Hardik was by far the best midfielder in the Olympics. He
Yeah,
was. We gave him shit for winning World Player of the Year. I completely got it if he would have gotten it this year. He was insane at the Olympics. Like, I'm sorry for this. I don't want to like open up old wounds, but the game he played against you guys, mate, it was insane. So
yeah,
I'm like I don't like I think he was very overrated last year, but he actually made a leap towards underrated. I don't think a lot of players done that. Um, feel like he's like very underrated
yeah.
right now.
No,
Best midfield.
he's not underrated because people like know him now.
No, fair. Now they know.
And and they know him, and then everyone's been like, "Okay, you're really good." And I agree. Like his whole Olympics was insane.
Okay, and then I have two or three more.
Three
Like,
more.
yeah, just really quickly because but we'll go very quickly over it. One is Efrons,
Yeah,
Australia.
yeah, underrated, easy.
Yeah, underrated as well. I feel like doing really well at Bloemendaal. Scores a lot of goals, like tough to defend. So I agree. Okay, I'm gonna shoot myself here. But Joep the Mol gotten gotten to the point where he's overrated. I
Yeah,
officially
100% you're overrated now.
I've officially become overrated.
You've done whole circle. You've gone
Yeah,
100%. You were underrated in 2023, and now you're overrated. Second best player in the
yeah.
world, mate. You've got to be overrated. Like what? What else can you be? It's official. You're the most official overrated player we've had talked about so far.
Besides John Dome and 2023 Hardik, I'm the most overrated player I think there is. Yeah, fair. Okay. Um, yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we only have one.
Time to go in the coop.
It is either we go in the coop or we come up with my idea, or we leave one of them for next week.
First, let me hear your idea, then I'll judge if it's like good enough to like skip the coop because I feel like people are like very eager for the coop.
Yeah, you basically just took control of overrated, underrated for that to be your coop, so I should have made that. But my idea is right. I've already talked about this on the pod, but I actually think this would be really fun. Is that I want to get rid of corners because they're boring and no one likes them anymore. Um, I want to replace them. Well, I've already said this all, but I'll just repeat it very quickly. It's dangerous. It's time wasting. No one actually is interested anymore. You can't flick it in the top corner hardly ever. We just spent 40 seconds round and round again, just putting corner kit on and then watching a flick it against the runner or flick it low between the keeper and the postman. It's boring. If you win a corner, they draw a little circle about 2 feet by 2 feet at the top of the right at the top of the D, and the person who wins the corner puts the ball in the spot, and you get a free shot at the goalie. You can have it forehand, backhand. You can. I don't know if you can roll it in or it just has to be dead. But yeah, like I reckon, in my opinion, that would be way more entertaining than a corner. Less time consuming, more entertainment. That's what I'm after.
Like a free shot from top of the D.
Yeah, so basically I got this idea from OR when we played at OR and you won a corner, you had a shot from the top of the D. But
Yeah.
this would be more like rigid, so you can't like roll it in. It's like there is a circle and
Yeah.
you hit it. And it instantly like I thought about it in funny ways in like you got a guy who winds up from
Yeah.
5 yards away and absolutely smashes it over the bar, and you just imagine being like, like people absolutely loving it. In the other thing is someone absolutely rigs it, or the keeper makes an amazing save. I
Yeah,
think,
or like people chunk it. People like
yeah,
hit right in front of it and it like rolls up to the goal.
you
Shit like
fat
that.
it, and oh, I just think that I'm on something.
I feel like you're onto something here because I feel like, as you said, I feel like I do think the penalty corner. That's my like thing before the penalty corner is that it's the identity of hockey a little bit. The people who don't watch hockey feel like that's what makes hockey stand out towards like other sports. People know the penalty corner, and it creates heroes. So like in Holland, you have Takema, Jip Jansen, Mink van der Weerde, guys that like all young kids want to be like Jip Jansen, Jibby Jansen, like Maartje Pauwme in Holland. The Alexander Hendricks, those are like make our sport bigger. And I feel like if you take away those, it like limits our sport a bit. So that's why I think there's a bigger reason to keep it on.
Yeah, there's
But
got to be
I,
something.
as a hockey insider, I completely agree. I think the penalty corner has become way too. Also, it can decide games that you play shit. You get a penalty corner. Some like big guy who can't play hockey flicks it in, and it's end of the game.
Yeah, I just can you imagine the moment of you're in the final minute and someone who can't hit the ball wins a corner and you're like,
Is it with or without a rebound?
no rebound.
Oh, that's shit. Or to add on it, you get a rebound, but it has to stay in the circle and it has to be first touch.
Yeah, do you get the rebound or is there more people?
No, yourself. You can get a rebound, but you get like two touches in your rebound. If it stays in the circle, you get two touches.
Shit, that'd be good as well.
So if you hit the post, you get like another touch, and the goalie can come running out.
I pitched this to Amesy, knowing that normally he would
Does the goalie have to stand on his line?
Ooh.
Like it's really funny if the goalie is like he can stand up as not as close as he wants, but you make like a 5 meter or like 6 meters close like away. Like he can go halfway between you and the goal, so that you can also like lob him, like with handball. You know the
Yeah.
penalty with handball?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could like make the goalie so you can also like lob him.
It's multi-dimensional. We're talking about
Yeah.
like you could be talking tactics for hours about this. And then you could have so many guys at the end of training being like, my shot is terrible. I need to what if I win a corner? I'm gonna have to hit the ball.
Yeah, or don't come near the circle of 23 because they will just like foul you on purpose, like with the hack a shack.
Hack a shack.
They will foul someone on purpose because they know he can't hit. Teams will get like 70 corners again, but it will be 70 times the guy who has never hit the ball on goal.
Oh, who would be hack a shacked? Who? That's a great question.
Oh,
Who can't
oh,
hit?
I know a couple guys on the top of my head.
Nick
Oh,
Park, I'm sorry, mate. You'd be hack.
yeah, he has a shit shot.
He says he's a full-time deliverer now. He
Yeah.
delivers. Yeah, he's got a nice strike, low far post.
Oh, that's good to know. Like, there's also a couple guys, like if Thierry Brinkman, I think he would score a shitload of goals if he would, because he would not hit it like top corner. He would just hit everything like poof, like bottom corner, poof,
Yeah.
bottom corner. I feel I would be the kind of player who could like hit one crossbar and in, or who could hit it like onto 2 pitches over. And I would also be the guy to fed it once. Or like a back stick with my backhand,
Yeah.
Want to hit it like you do with like your driver. Oh, I wanted to hit it too hard. That I would be that guy. Backhand. Oh, I wanted to hit it so hard. Backstick.
I mean, I love this guy, but I'd foul Sevi Van As.
Yeah,
I'd hack him.
has a better shot than you think.
Yeah, I'm sure he
Has a
probably
better
does.
shot.
It just
Yeah,
seems like he'd stroke it like he'd just like it'd be like just smooth, but it wouldn't go in. I'd 100% be that guy as well. Where like 5 times it'd probably go quite well for me. The other 5, I'm obviously reverse sticking it. It just goes straight over the bar.
I feel like that there would also be some guys who would slap it,
Oh,
like
I'd make that illegal.
Arthur van Doren would like slap it. I feel like he has a good shot. You could like have enough power to slap it in.
Who would slide it? Who would do a slider?
Yeah, but that's not possible because you only have like 2 feet in.
Yeah, true. Be illegal.
So that would be illegal. Would be so many. I think what would be like a complete danger to go this is if Jelle Galema had to hit. Guy has the most uncontrollably hard hit I've seen, but like for one reason or another, every training, one shot of his goes into the ball sack of the goalie.
I tell you who else, Liam Ansell, he would be absolutely terrifying if you were a keeper.
There's always this guy. There's always this guy who shoots it like Duco Telkamp as well. He shoots it so uncontrollably hard, and you have to do an exercise, and you're already counting. You have to be at the second post, and you're already looking. Oh, who has to hit for me? Oh, fuck! It's Duco Telkamp. You know the ball is coming at 200 miles an hour towards your head at one point in the exercise.
Right, we're gonna have to postpone Joep and the coop and Joep.
Yeah, fair.
Coop and
I think this was a good coup, a good like alternate coup.
Yeah, well, I mean, guys, we don't talk to you very often anymore, but listeners, like, what do you think of my idea? Like, I'm really excited about it. I've pitched it to a couple of guys, and I'm thinking I'm going to get shot down, and even Joep hasn't shot me down, so I'm pretty optimistic. I'm going to be sending my letter to the FIH later on in the year. But this has been episode 4 of Let's Stick Together season 7, brought to you by Y1. Hopefully we can get Brendan if he answers us, if he answers his phone.
Let us know if you miss Brendan, because we kind of miss him, but he's not really. Maybe you guys need to get him back.
Yeah, can anyone message Brendan? Tell him that we record sometimes. Just hit us up. All right. This has been Let's Stick Together. See you next time.
Cheerio.